My name is Dwayne Murray. I am 37 years old, Las Vegas native, born and raised here. Graduated UNLV grad, former college football player, and owner of a franchise here in Las Vegas, Nevada, State Farm Agency, and father of 2 kids. I'm making this Can I Be Vulnerable video because of the work and the necessity for me to get out, what I'm being vulnerable about, and maybe it can empower or help anyone else that's out there with things that they may be facing, or challenges and things, or maybe hear my story and glean something from it that can possibly help them. Have I been to therapy? Yes, I have done therapy.
What led you there?
It was the death of my wife.
Man, okay. And so with that, how has healing impacted your relationship with others?
I've had to heal in time. The process of me going to therapy wasn't one that I openly accepted. Right. I think, black men, black culture, therapy is for white people, or it's because you can't deal with it. Yeah. So you immediately run towards other vices, or avoiding it. Right. My biggest thing was, as I tried to move into a relationship with, Melissa, right, that's when I knew I needed therapy. Right. It wasn't until then that, my hurt or my past was impacting how I viewed her. Right. And how that was. So my healing has been in time, and I'm still healing. Right. It was a single process of me trying to heal alone. Right. And then it became a process of, her and I healing. Right. Because it was a thing where, we needed to, because we became a family. Right. So everyone has to heal.
Everybody has to heal.
In the thing about relationships and what matters most in life, right, part of my own understanding the value proposition of life. Right. Prior to having gone through this, life was valued around things, valued around people, circles of people. Being in social structures, and it was very shallow. Right. Time was looked upon as forever, and through the healing, I've learned to value, time, who I spend it with, my life, and the relationships, and understand that all material things fade. Right. The things that matter become, obviously health, and the people you have in your life. That is, and how you spend that time with them.
Yeah, I like that. So these next 2 questions, man, are identical. Yeah. But they're specifically asked. What scares you?
What scares me? What scares me is not fully getting out my life to the people that I love. Like for me, being in my children's life, I want them to fully know me and not to leave anything unturned. Right. Because one day when I do close my eyes, I don't want them grieving like they missed out on something. Right. I want them to say, I knew Dad, we had a great time.
It was a celebration.
Yeah, and I want them to understand and accept, what? This is life. Right. But there was no words left unsaid or no things left undone.
Right, I like that. That was good. What do you fear?
What do I fear?
So I said they're identical questions.
I fear not doing that. I fear not taking advantage of life. I feel like it's a gift. So, not pushing myself, being lazy. Right. I know, health, I'm 37, we're all walking each other down one journey, and it all ends. The path is different, but it all ends. Right. And my fear is not getting it out, not living it, and then living, saying, well, damn, woulda, coulda, shouldas, or, not taking advantage of it. Me, in my life, I've always said the buck starts and stops with me. I don't look for rescue from anyone. So it's not anyone's fault. I don't look to place fault or blame on anyone's thing. So for me, it's being self-responsible, owning the results of your life, knowing that no one's going to hand you anything. Also, it's, for me, a big thing is being a father. I had struggled at a young age becoming a father because I never had, I felt that I didn't have the role model, but my own dad. Right. Like my dad wasn't in the house with me. And then I learned that I did have male figures in my life, the one who gave me his last name, and that what I was saying I did not have, I was too focused on that. Yeah. So I had to focus in on what I did have and what I wanted to be. Right. What did I want to create? Right. And that to me has allowed for me to become a father. So I think manhood is that. I think manhood is being to self-correct and self-evaluate, to be your, I am my own critic, not where it's harmful. I try to cut the line between being being humbling.
There's critiquing, and then there's
shitting on yourself. Yeah, self-sabotaging, and there's a line. And you could talk yourself into stuff. You could talk yourself out of stuff. And I kind of always am introspective, and I think manhood is definitely that, because your children call you out, and being able to say, you know what, I apologize to my kids, even at 7. You know what? I apologize, Brooklyn. I shouldn't have handled it that way.
Complete this sentence. Healing is
necessary.
Growth is
required.
There it is. So that's it for the questions, man. And here's your.
That's some great questions. Jeez. When I lost LaQuinta, it was gut punching. Right. I think from a man's point of view, leaving a relationship, separating is one thing. Right. Losing at a young age your spouse, your best friend. For me, it was, you lose. I didn't realize how much of my identity and who I had become was with her. Right. I started dating her at 19. So into my manhood, half of who I had become was because of
your relationship.
Yeah, she became my mirror. She was the reflection, right? It was, well, you shouldn't handle it this way. You need to handle it this way. Right. And so she helped grow me as much as I was growing her. Right. When you bury that part of you, when I felt like I had buried part of who I was, I didn't know how much of that impacted.
And you don't have to answer this, like I said. Was it sudden when she passed? Yeah. Or was it,
It was sudden. Damn. It was within
it wasn't like
10
a
days
sickness or anything like that?
She had a sickness. It was sickle cell. Oh. But the life expectancy of African Americans with sickle cell is not, 28. Yeah. So they can live with it for a long period of time. It was gut punching. It was not it wasn't something that I foresaw. Yeah. And when that hit me, I was, I look back on life, it was a daze. She was in the hospital and I went and saw her, and that morning I'm going to work. I'm like, okay, hey babe, I'll see you this afternoon. I go to work, and then my phone rings, and when it rung, I was in a meeting. Everything in me dropped. And it was, I knew it wasn't her calling me. Right. And I knew this call was the call that did not want. Everything in my senses, my body shifted. I went home and literally the whole house was gray. It was as if the lights were on, but it was gray, as if the lights weren't even on in the house no more.
Man.
It was just, you take on a tent in your life, and you have glasses on that I'll say you live life through your lenses. They were shifted, and it was like as if the light had came out. My brother and his wife came back here, and they even said it. They says, you got to move out of this house, because they walked into the house and they were just like, it's not the same.
You got to go.
They were like, we're here for this, but when we go, no one's gonna be here.
Right.
And they were like, you got to shift. You got to, we believe you need to go. And literally, by the time we had her funeral, I was already sleeping in a new place. I'd already moved into an apartment. Like, my brother was like, we move. And it was, within 3 days of him being here, they found me a place. My sister went out and bought furniture. They were like, give me the money, we're gone.
Yeah.
And we're moving you. And it was, I think, the best thing.
I was going to ask, like, how did that help?
It helped. It started the process of healing of, even with Brooklyn, she was only 18 months. She went into the house one last time, and it was as if she was walking and she was looking. She kept opening doors, and she would look, and she opened the closet door. Now she was just starting to say mom,
right.
But I knew what she was looking for.
Right.
And she opened another door, and she walked down the hallway, and I just watched her. And, I knew, I says, this is going to tear her apart.
Right.
Or it's going to tear me apart. And I live my life saying, I'm not going to let her bear it.
Right.
I'll bear it.
Right.
There's no way.
Father.
Yeah, I'm the father.
Protecting.
I'm a protector. And I'm going to give her a new start and give myself a new start and say, she won't hurt. I'll take the hurt.
Right.
So we moved, and that kind of like started a break. And from there, it was starting the process of, all right, I lost the other half of me. How do what do I get to do with life? What do I get to build? And who do I get to become? And who does she get to become? And my own mom says, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to raise her on your own? You should, are you going to, and I guess my mom's from the South, but she was like, are you going to give her to Rochelle, who is, LaQuinta's mom, right, and let her raise her? Because that's how they do things, I guess, in the culture. And I was just like, hell no. I'm like, Mom, this is my child. I'm going to raise. She was like, well, how do you expect to do it? I says, you did it. Single moms do it. And for me, it was never a doubt that I would not be able to do it, but it was a lot of self-reflecting. I mean, as gut punching as it was, I remember the first day I had to do her hair. That was so. It was so discouraged. It was challenging, parting hair. I've seen it done by my nieces, cousins, years.
You doing it? Doing it.
That was. I mean, I was sitting there just crying. I mean, I'm like, dude, I have to learn to part her hair. I had to find a beautician. I had a cousin that, for the first years of her life, did her hair for damn near nothing, to help. Potty training, and the funny thing about children is I would be laying on the couch in the apartment and I'd be crying. She'd walk over to me and lay her head on me and just make sure I was okay. Right. But she didn't know or understand. And she never said, where's mommy? Right. She never even said it. She just adapted. And they're resilient. I mean, just strong. And she never wavered. It was just, her relationship grew tighter. But dude, it was that first year was, it was me saying, she won't hurt. I am able, and I'm not going to fail. I'm not going to fold.
Right.
And it was just, grocery shopping. I didn't grocery shop, or
Little things.
little thing. My sister, I would have to, she had access to my bank account. She would shop for Brooklyn online, send me pictures of the clothes, because I don't even dress. Send me pictures of them, have it shipped, and I would hang up the clothes as outfits in the closet. So this outfit always went together. And then when I would wash them, the lady would come clean, I would put them back together the same way.
Right.
And that's the only way I knew. Right. I'm kind of black and white. I don't do fashion and stuff. No. And so she would buy bows, shoes, everything. And it would just come to my house once a month. And she would ship it, and this is her outfits for the month. It was wintertime. Here's her jackets. Here's the cardigans. You need, these are the boots we're going to send. And it took a village, Right. My mother-in-law helped, with, okay, I'm going to pick her up from school. You're at work. We're having dinners. Come over for that. It was a lot of people pitched in to help fill it in. But that first year was traumatic in the sense of me trying to start anew, and I hadn't gone to counseling.
Right.
And people were saying you need to go to counseling,
right.
And I was like, well, I read my Bible, I'm praying, I'm crying, I'm crying my way through it. I was drinking my way through it. I was, going to have cigars every Friday. So it was.
These are outlets, except for the spiritual.
Yeah, it was outlets and me doing things with Brooklyn. And if you look at early on at my life, like through social media and things, I always wanted to present a picture of strength, because I felt that so many people were looking for the crack, right. or the break, right. or is he okay? Is he gonna? And part of my ego, my pride was, I'm strong enough. Everything right. I need to do is on me. And right. you asked me earlier, what was manhood? Part of my manhood was, I can do this. Right. I'm not looking for no one for a crutch. And I wouldn't give Brooklyn a crutch. I never gave her well, you know what? You lost your mom. People should feel sorry for you. Right. I was like, nah. You know what? You're strong. I'm strong. We gonna get through this together. Right.